Hey, you guys, it's Andrea Olson with Go Diaper Free. Today I'm going to record episode 142 of the Go Diaper Free podcast for you. It's about what you would keep in mind when doing EC. Like, what's my top tip for people? So let's do that right now. Welcome to the Go Diaper Free podcast, where we're all about helping you to stop depending on diapers as early as birth. I'm your host, Andrea Olson, author and mom of 5 babies, all EC'd from birth, all out of diapers by walking. And this is episode 142. What is the one thing you would tell people to keep in mind when doing EC? So you can read the written version of today's show over at godiaperfree.com/142, where I will also link to anything mentioned today and will be replying to comments when you're finished. So there are some community members that I will never forget, and Daddy, Coach Selby, stretch expert, is one of them. What an amazing guy. We had so much fun coming up with fun little terms for all the EC things back in the day. And he asked me many, many years ago, what is the one thing you would tell people to keep in mind when doing EC? And guess what? My answer hasn't changed much since the first time I wrote this way back when. The most important thing I can share with people is this. When I'm focused on EC, we become disconnected. When I focus on connection, EC flows smoothly. Kind of a tongue twister, but it's true. I have to admit that I read something like this somewhere back in the day, like probably 2010 when I first started EC, and I adapted it for my own use. But it rings true, doesn't it? In other words, avoid potty-centeredness at all costs. Try to be diffusely aware of potty needs, any need really, and don't hover over or helicopter or obsess over pottying or offering potty-tunities. And do all this while still somehow paying attention. Like you do with feeding, sleep, and warmth. You're going about your day and you notice all these things kind of peripherally. When we become child-centered, potty-centered, or anything-centered with our babies pick that up as a set of emotions that include fear, uncertainty, incompetence, annoyance, and paranoia. So to get a handle on why child-centeredness, i.e. helicopter parenting, hovering, etc., can negatively affect an EC practice and your parenting, to be honest, please read the post on my thoughts about continuum concept, child-centeredness, and EC. And I also mentioned this in my book, Go Diaper Free. And I wanted to share something that I wrote a while back, which demonstrates how potty-centeredness or hovering, waiting for a pee catch all day long, at any age can backfire on you, and why this is my top advice on EC by far. So here you go. This is what I wrote. If you're ECing an early toddler, she is walking or close to it, or will be someday, or you will be ECing an early toddler someday, you'll want to prepare yourself. Keep in mind, you're ECing a little person who is very much trying to do things for himself now, and yet who isn't quite yet capable of doing everything on his own just yet. Keep in mind, you're ECing a tiny being who is hyper aware of all of her parents' moods, attitudes, desires, and fears. Keep in mind, you're ECing a small human who really doesn't want to do things that aren't on his agenda or in his present moment myopia. So the most important thing to realize at this stage is that potty-centeredness is the root cause of EC problems with an early toddler. It underlines most all resistance, most all pausing, refusals to sit or be held, everything that might go wrong when your baby begins her walk towards independence. You'll want to nip this one directly in the bud. So here's how to prevent or correct potty-centeredness. Number 1, be matter-of-fact about your pottying. Don't make it a big deal. Don't overtalk. You don't do that about anything else, right? Number 2, if your life feels like all potty, it probably is. Think of some ways you can stop that right now. Number 3, offer less potty-tunities. Your baby doesn't need to go as much as she did when she was 4 months old, if she's now 12 months old. Number 4, how about offering some more strategic potty-tunities? So think through your usual daily pattern and select those which make the most sense. It can be based on baby signals, if there are any, the baby's current natural timing and rhythms, generic timing, or timing that works with your day and routines, your intuition, including what you've learned so far about ECing her, or a combination of any of the 4. It could just be one, or it could be all 4 if they all work for you. So be more strategic about when you do offer, and that'll help you be less potty-centered. And number 5, try not to let on that you're always thinking about pottying. Your baby can sense it, so you got to fake it till you make it. I know this is new for you and it can be consuming, but just really think about other things too. Number 6, drop the idea of perfectionism. You will never be perfect at ECing. If you try to be perfect, you will fail. There is only learning from your journey and making choices for the next steps of your journey based on what has happened. There is no perfection. And anything in the parenting realm, there's also no perfection. Number 7, your EC success is not a reflection of you. So don't judge yourself or allow others to judge you based on how well you EC or not. In fact, if you consider EC a measure of your success, it will surely backfire. It doesn't mean you're a good mom, good dad, bad dad. It's not a reflection of you. It's just learning and communication from your baby about what needs to change or what's working or what's going on. Number 8, do not tell others that you're doing EC if you're being potty centered, because this will make your performance anxiety go down if you stop telling people about it. Like, when you're put on the spot, you feel like you have to perform. This will make that go down. And this will cause you to hyper-focus less on EC because you're not having to perform for other people. Just naming that. Number 9, focus on connection with your child and fulfilling his other needs. Realize that pottying is only one in a whole spectrum of your child's needs. You don't hyper-focus on eating or naps, do you? I mean, always when we have a problem or when we don't know what we're doing, we do hyper-focus on things. But we need to zoom out and see, hey, there's a whole baby here. And number 10, if need be, take a break. Either choose only a segment of each day that you'll commit to EC or take 2 weeks off. That's called a reset, and start again fresh later. Don't quit altogether, but if it's necessary, a break can help everyone reset. And if you take a break, just do one of the 4 easy catches, like just the poops for a while. And one thing I'd add, after all of these years of helping hundreds of thousands of parents with elimination communication, number 11, give privacy. Turn your back, busy yourself with something else while your child sits on the mini potty or the big toilet seat reducer on the big toilet. Babies start to want privacy soon after crawling, because after that, in an intact indigenous culture, why would they need your help any longer? So I hope this helps you all prepare to avoid problems with your baby when they become early toddlers, or to solve a current problem with a now toddling child. And that's it. That's my best advice for anyone doing elimination communication with a baby or a young toddler. Don't hyper-focus, don't hover, and don't revolve your life around your child. Read the continuum concept, take in my advice, just loosen up a little bit, focus on the things that are working, give some privacy, and you'll be fine, because all in all, what you're doing counts. It matters. Whether you think you're doing a good job or not, your baby is way more forgiving to you than you are on yourself. Your child is a part of your life, an important one. Please give her some psychic space, though. We don't need to be completely entwined in that brain, because it needs some space to grow and develop. So anyway, Coach Selby, thinking of you. Thank you so much for your question from way back when. It still applies today. Now a question for you guys. Do you have any thoughts about potty centeredness that you'd like to share? Any experiences or advice? Are you going to do some of the things I've recommended today? Please share them in the comments over at godiaperfree.com/142. I'll see you over there. Until next time, happy pottying, y'all. I'm Andrea Olson, and you've been listening to the Go Diaper Free podcast at godiaperfree.com. All right. And if you have any comments or questions or aha moments, please write them in the comments below, and subscribe and like this video so that more people can learn about EC. Thanks.